Michael Marcantonini with IronBirds pitching coach Jeremy Hileman. Jeremy, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. How are you enjoying your first year in the Orioles organization so far?
It's been awesome. I mean, it's been really cool working for the organization I grew up a fan of. So that's a pretty cool opportunity. But awesome people in the org, obviously doing some cool things, and everyone from our staff here to the pitching department and the people that I kind of got things rolling with Forrest and Shuck and all those guys. It's been awesome. They treated me really well, and I'm glad I'm able to be here and kind of keep pushing things forward.
It's so awesome that you're getting to work in the organization that you grew up cheering for. How did you end up within the Orioles organization?
I'd been in the college game for a little while, and I kind of thought I wanted to stay there. And over the past maybe year or so, I realized that exploring the pro game was something that I maybe had a higher level of interest in, and definitely wanted to get in if it was the right organization and the right people. And it just so happened to work out that I was at the coaches convention this year down in DC, and I met Forrest through a mutual friend of mine, Sean Buchanan, who is the AAA pitching coach with the Astros currently. And so they had a connection, and leaving the one pitching talk with Sean, ran into Forrest and got to meet him, and it just so happened that an opportunity had opened up within about that same week that I met him, and it kind of just took off from there. So happened quick, but it was good, and it was good to meet him through good people and people that I trusted too. So I think it worked out well.
It seems like a lot of things have happened quick for you the last half decade, really. I mean, you've been in a different spot each of the last 5 years. It was Shippensburg, then Canisius, then Army, then St. Joe's, 4 years of the college game as a pitching coach, and now in the Orioles organization. Do you just keep a suitcase packed? I mean, what's that been like bouncing around?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of a crazy ride, but in a good way, and I've had a ton of good people in my corner or getting to learn from or work with, and that's been huge for me. And obviously, a really big piece of that is my wife, Rachel, and how open she is to kind of this being my dream and my career and kind of what I love. And so obviously I have to give her a shout out on here, because if I didn't, then I would I'd be doing a disservice, because could not do it without her openness and willingness to do all these things and move to all these places and try new things. So she's been huge in it, but it's been one of those things where there's been a lot of places I've been really happy at and haven't had any desire necessarily to go, and it's just been the right opportunities that kind of came to me and were presented to me and kind of fit my long-term goals and aspirations. And like I said, some really good people who've been really supportive of me and my career, and have given a ton to me that I owe thanks to, from whoever, whether it was Matt Jones at Shippensburg and him giving me my first on-field coaching opportunity from after I got done playing, to Maz at Canisius, my head coach there, who gave me my first full-time Division I pitching role, to whoever, to coach, to Fritz Skip Hamburg at St. Joe's, who gave me an opportunity back there near home and kind of entrusted me to do my thing with the pitchers and really take off there, and supported me in this move to the Orioles, to all the people that are here now, and I mean, dating back even before that to my time at the facility at 4EPS and the people I worked with, and Scott Swanson and those guys. Just a big mix of people who played a big role, and I'm sure I'm leaving some people off that are deserving of more credit as well. But I think all those people have helped shape these opportunities, and I owe a lot to them, and pretty thankful for the opportunities they've given me and the support they've given me.
What are some big things that you learned as a player? You pitched at the collegiate level, but even earlier in your baseball career, that you now use as a coach in first college ball, now pro ball?
The biggest tool for me and just my development as a coach, and what kind of really pushed me into all of this, is my freshman year of college in the winter, when I ended up getting the yips. So I really I hit a wall the fall of my freshman year, the winter of my freshman year, after a pretty decent fall. And from that point on, I really struggled on the playing side to ever put it back together in game scenarios. It would be great in bullpens at home or in the training side, and I really struggled to kind of piece it back together. So feeling that and understanding that, where I would have never understood that depth of the mental side or some of the blocks that people can go through, as much as it sucked going through it, and as much as I would love to have not went through it, I think it's really shaped my ability to coach and kind of the mental side, and just understanding where guys are at and seeing those struggles and having been through a lot of them, I think has made me hopefully a better coach than if I would have never went through it. So I think that is one of the biggest things that I've experienced and kind of taken with me. But I think along with that, when I was going through that and searching for answers, my sophomore year was the first time I ever started diving into maybe the new school side of training. Like I trained out for a month in the summer at Driveline, the second summer that they had college summer training, like when it was kind of on the forefront of things out there, and took that into building out my own programs and testing things myself while I was playing, and took that into my time at the facility at full reps and continued learning there and building stuff out there. So I think it kind of set a foundation for my forward thinking side to coaching and maybe the newer tools and things that we can use or methods of training that might fit individuals and might help us give them the best that we can. So I think that big struggle led to a lot of positives down the road for me as a coach, but definitely wasn't an easy thing to go through. But looking back at it, I think all in all ended up being a positive.
Talking to IronBirds pitching coach Jeremy Hileman, there's so much data and technology and numbers and ways to evaluate players out there. How do you simplify it, and what are the big stats or metrics that you use to see how well a pitcher is progressing from outing to outing?
Yeah, I think it's a little dependent on individual, but for us, obviously at the professional level, stuff is really important, right? What stuff is predicted to play well as people continue moving up levels, right? And there's a lot of things that go into that between velocity and break numbers and release numbers and all kinds of stuff in between. But that, and then along with that, are we thrown into locations that generally are going to be conducive for success for our guys, right? So those are some of the really big pieces on the outside, right? Are we throwing good stuff? Are we developing good pitches to create the results we want? Whether it's pitches to get swing and miss, whether it's just using pitches that we have effectively, understanding what they're good for. Maybe it's something that's conducive for weak contact in middle or behind counts, whatever it might be. But are we developing good stuff? Are we developing that stuff and then using it in the zones and in the ways that we need to be successful? And I think that is the overarching goal of it all. And then under that umbrella, right, you have biomech data to see, are we helping guys move well and produce their best there most often, right? Are we replicating their best bullets? Are we replicating how they move at their best when they are their best? And then everything else in between. Are we keeping them healthy? Are we doing right by them in terms of their workloads and making sure they're built up efficiently and sufficiently to handle the workloads that they're tasked with? All those types of things. I guess that's a big overarching message, but I think there's a ton that goes into it. But really, can we keep guys healthy? Can we help improve them, throw better pitches, have better stuff? And can we coach them into executing them in ways that will help them find success?
Yeah, that's incredible stuff. I mean, a very thorough answer, and I appreciate that. As this team's pitching coach here in Aberdeen, what does a standard pitcher-catcher pregame meeting look like? And really, when you're diving into like scouting reports and all that stuff?
Yeah, so for us, it is a lot about them as individuals, understanding their attack plans, their stuff, and how they need to use it. So that understanding takes place way before just the advanced meeting, right? In any bullpen setting, in post-game reviews, right? We talk about those things to make sure guys are pitching in a way that's conducive for their success. And then with that, then we'll touch on the lineup we're going to see, and being in a pro ball setting, right? You see a lot of these lineups multiple times, so we get to see them a bunch, and these guys get to throw against similar lineups multiple times, which I think is good because it makes you adapt and see if you can write the script a different way while still using your stuff to your strengths. So we'll touch on the lineup so guys understand their handedness, who they're going to see, and then touch on a few guys, maybe either outlier guys or guys that they'll see early in the game, and make sure they're on the same page with their approach and their usages with the catcher, and just make sure that we are locked into our plan for the day and what we're trying to get out of the day, whether it's certain goals they have in terms of a pitch they're working on or usages or whatever it may be. But just make sure we're all on the same page heading into the game, and that they have their general general plan to then apply to their game and go attack it with full conviction.
For you, having spent so much time at the college level, what are the biggest differences working with college pitchers versus pro pitchers?
I think at this level right now, just the raw amount of information and tools that we have at our disposal is something that you're not going to find in the college game. Maybe at a few of the really well-off SEC programs, places that have their own labs and things like that. But the general college game, especially the mid-major college game, just the raw amount of hands that we have to help with how much data we have and how actionable we can make it. I think that's one of the biggest differences. I think being at this level, it's similar to coaching. A lot of the older college guys that I would have had in terms of just their age and some of the maturity level, things like that, right? A lot of these guys are the same age as college juniors, seniors, fifth-year guys, sixth-year guys. So an age group that I've had familiarity working with over my time in the college game. But I do think just the ability to leverage all of our tools and information to help coach these guys and help really push along their development and their plans. I think that's the biggest difference, and along with obviously this being their job and their career, not being a student athlete, with the school end being a big part of it, right? This is fully what they're here for and what they're fully bought into. So I think those are the differences, but the guys themselves, it doesn't really change, right? You're still coaching the same individuals and just doing it with a little extra information, a little extra help on that end of things.
I got one more big one for you to wrap up here, Jeremy. I asked this same question to Austin Miney in 2023 and Jordy Henry last year. How do you define success as a minor league baseball pitching coach?
Defining success, I think it is very much about that individual's development, and I think what those guys need is different from guy to guy. So I don't know if it would be one blanket statement, more so from guy to guy, but can we quantify that we are improving in whatever areas that individual needs, right? And now that can change, but what that quantifiable thing may be, whether it's adding velocity, whether it's execution in terms of how we grade their execution of certain pitches, like are they getting to the zones they need to more often, all the things that we can track and that we try to track and use as tools for our coaching. I think whatever that individual's development goals are we getting better over the course of time at whatever goals we have set? I think that is the win. I think obviously it's nice to see results come with it, and most of the time if you're doing a good job with their development and they're growing, usually the results will start to show as well. But understanding that solely in-game results, box scores, is not necessarily indicative of if someone is taking the right steps. There's going to be times where we're working towards stuff and maybe the box score for an outing or two doesn't look quite as clean as we'd like, but maybe behind that, right, the cutter shape got way better and we used it where we needed to, and all of a sudden that's a huge win and we can take that into the next outing and the next outing from there. So I think it's very much solely about their individual development, and if we're meeting the goals that they have and that we have set for them to hopefully help them become big leaguers down the road.
Incredible stuff, man. IronBirds pitching coach Jeremy Hileman joining me on the broadcast. Jeremy, thanks for doing this, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, excited to be a part of it, and appreciate all that you do with the announcing here.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks again.